Have you guys freaking kept up with this PirateSoftware nonsense? Me neither. Truthfully, I barely know the guy. Dude, this Quinn Theo guy put out a video about how PirateSoftware apparently faked a hype train on Twitch, which may or may not be against Twitch's TOS. Dude, this is the millionth thing he's been accused of this month. Quinn Theo, shout out to this guy, freaking 72K subs, but all his videos are clearing like hundreds of thousands of views. Like, I'm trying to learn a thing or two from this guy. He's got the freaking PirateSoftware with the he's done, it's so over, insane, no more. Take it back now, y'all. Thumbnails. Thumbnail game on point. Love him or hate him, dude. Let's see what this is all about. This is the newest and truest PirateSoftware update ever made. All right, what the fuck is all this tension building, dude? I'm already edged up and clicked on the video. You don't gotta convince me no more. I'm here.
It's yet another example of PirateSoftware being incredible. Is indeed PirateSoftware. The information that I'm going to be presenting to you guys in this video is going to, at a bare minimum, showcase yet another example of PirateSoftware being incredibly scummy, or it could also include PirateSoftware breaching the terms of service of Twitch, or at its worst, could actually spell legal consequences for PirateSoftware. Now, at the time of recording this, I've spoken to a lawyer, and I'm actually going to be including a few clips from our conversation that we had, as I think they're useful for this video, but I'm also going to be creating an update video where I go much more in depth with this lawyer after we fully go through the details of all the information that we've gathered. Through other people, we've also been able to get in touch with someone who works at Twitch to go over—
I really don't see. What are we talking about here? His heinous crimes? I feel like there's been so much PirateSoftware drama, quote unquote, lately that I don't even remember what he did. He like faked a gameplay allegedly one time, and then like couldn't take criticism another time, maybe 2 more times. And then why else do we hate this guy? I don't remember. His voice is too funny. It's maybe fake. Why doesn't he sound more like me?
Take your mouse and you put your mouse inside of MS Paint, and then you hold spacebar, and then you use the arrow keys. You can draw like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Why can't we get a good normal guy's voice cast for this role?
And people didn't know this. MS Paint is king.
Wow. As the influencer. I hate this fucking movie. Okay, sorry.
For this possible alleged terms of service being broken at Twitch. I should also make it very clear that the legal ramifications are not going to be gone in full depth here, and they are just alleged right now. I'm not saying that he has broken any laws yet, but there is potential. But with this oversized preamble out of the way, let's get into the video. Now, this all starts late one night, just a few days ago.
I guess piracy is illegal. He has been kind of edgy since the start.
When somebody in my Discord, shout out to CK, ends up sending in a screenshot of this tweet. This tweet comes from Guy, and they say PirateSoftware accidentally revealed his DMs with Kronos during the April 1st Twitch Giga Train, showing that they were boosting it themselves. This is why the stream is unavailable to watch. And here we have this screenshot. I want to make it clear at this point, this is the only thing that we have in regard to this situation. So let's take a look at that screenshot. Now, in this screenshot, it is Pirate.
So there was text on the screen that said had. Freaking update within the update. There's been an update since he even filmed this update. There's more.
In regard to this situation. So let's take a look at that screenshot. Now, in this screenshot, it is Pirate wearing a banana costume, or excuse me, a long lemon. And he's on Discord.
Why do I have Snapchat? I don't freaking know. That's a good question. I don't really use it anymore, but it does exist.
Looks like he must have accidentally pulled up this Discord interaction that he was having with Kronos. That's his lead moderator. Reading off the messages here, the first one from Kronos is, Pirate responds, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. Kronos says bits rather than tier 3s. Pirate responds, tier 3s might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? Kronos says, I've done 100 tier 1s on my personal, ready to do 40 tier 3s on an alt, can do bits instead or both. Then Kronos says, did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. Pirate says, okay, what is the alt account? Kronos replies, serendipitous bean.
I mean, it seems pretty all very specific language. Like, what else could they be talking about? Could this be out of context? I'm just trying to see all of our angles, dude. Imagine faking your own hype train. Bro, streamers will do anything these days. I'm sure that this guy's not the only person who's ever done this, because a hype train is just like a sub, right? Like, if somebody subs, it starts like a level 0 or a level 1 hype train. I think that's how it works. Freaking, if you're rich, show me how it works by subscribing right now. Just kidding. But freaking, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So he's just basically having his buddy donate a bunch to his stream so that they can look cool.
Where's the beef? And then below that, he says, Didn't mention this to the mods
What up,
either.
Cooper?
Now the challenge is to clear the queue. So that's a lot to throw at you at once, and we're gonna pick it apart as we go over this video, but what is going on here? Now to preempt this, some people might know that Twitch uses this thing called a hype train. Essentially, the more you get donations or gifts in a short amount of time, it raises the level of this hype train. And
I just explained this, but we'll make sure I was right with this guy's explanation.
People unlock things. For instance, last year on April 1st, back in 2024, Twitch's hype train record smashed again by PirateSoftware. And they go into detail about Pirate breaking the
So that's how you get on The Verge. You just simply fake it until you made it.
Twitch hype train world record, with his channel reaching level 106 on April 1st. Once the hype train was initiated, it took Hall roughly 3 hours to beat his previous level 55 world record from December, with viewers contributing 54,380
Why?
gifted
That's
subs,
so much money.
alongside regular subscriptions, and 8.2 million bits, likely earning Hall a healthy 6-figure sum in the process. And he goes into a bit more detail. Hype trains, a feature that Twitch launched in 2020, are a limited time event triggered when a channel receives an uptick in bits or subscriptions, pushing past a streamer designated threshold. And you can see here that the people that were a part of this hype level 100 train were given the Kappa Infinite emote, dropping in chat for hype train participants. I wanted to show this because it'll be important later, but Vedal is a name of a VTuber who ended up beating that record and getting to a 111 level hype train. And this is what PirateSoftware had to say when they found out their record was broken.
So
I wanted to roast the people who donate and say, like, y'all motherfuckers need jobs or something, some employment, but I mean, they're paying. They're paying to do this, so I mean, it's checkmate, I guess. Fucking A.
broke the hype train record. Vedal's record is now level 111, and that's wild. I think that's freaking incredible, to be honest with you. With help from Valorant, I mean, yeah. So during that hype train, they got an extra 19,000 subs from Valorant, which is wild, like absolutely wild. So I think they ended up with something like 80,000 subs. Our hype train was 54,000 subs, but you guys had given 8 million bits, and that was kind of the difference between the two.
Is this like similar to how record labels will like inflate stream numbers for their artists or like music video views? Though I know that they've been accused of buying views for a long time. There's really no way to prove it, at least not from me. Maybe YouTube could see it on their side if the views were real, but seems kind of like that. Maybe there's a certain amount of to be expected. My friend's gonna donate $20,000 so we can get the world record. Freaking, I don't even know. Does the money go right back to him?
No, there's no cheating.
It seems like a bad business
Don't try
deal.
to diminish what they did at all.
But I guess he did get famous on The Verge.
Vedal is an amazing content creator. I think Neurosam is cool as shit.
So that specific part about cheating, what do you think that
This is all noteworthy just because PirateSoftware, how would you say, like, freaking has been in so much other drama. Like, this is just the cherry on top. Of course he would fake something like this.
means by
God
that
damn
cheating?
it.
He said, no, let's not take that away. I don't
At least that's how the internet feels. I really don't care about the guy.
there was cheating. Don't diminish that. I would assume that cheating in terms of building up a hype train would maybe be to artificially inflate it yourself, by chance coordinating with a mod of yours, maybe your head mod, to keep a hype train alive. I would say that myself. Could be wrong, interested to hear what you guys think, but let's continue on. And to make it clear, we're not contesting his 106 level hype train that happened back in April of 2024. I have no reason to believe that there were any shenanigans involved with his 106 world record
What up,
breaking
Brian?
one, as
Mr.
I don't have
iPhone
any
here.
evidence of that. And regardless
Just
of
learning about this PirateSoftware guy everyone's talking about. What did he do now? This crazy kooky Thor man with the
your
voice.
understanding of his pattern of behavior, anything like that, I'm not making that allegation myself. I'm not saying anything about that specific achievement.
It
We're
sounds like you're
talking
saying
about
it.
this year. April
I'm
1st,
definitely not
2025.
saying it.
And I
I'm just
think one of the
reacting
most
to him
important
not
parts
saying it.
about this is validating that this
Right,
is a
Loomis?
real screenshot.
Am I right?
And how are we going to do that? Because as it stands right now, PirateSoftware had removed the YouTube VOD, and as well as the Twitch VOD ends up deleting itself after 60 days. And I think we hit that threshold. Now, this leak could be the reason that this ended up getting taken down, this VOD, but there's another potential reason as to why, and it actually comes from that head moderator that you saw in the screenshot, Kronos. Now, I had replied to Guy, and I'm actually going to show you two different ones.
mod
Guy
is
actually
giving
posted
head,
this
huh?
screenshot in a couple of other places. I said, hey, where were you able to find this? Would like to get some more info on this. And then they replied, it's my own screenshot from the stream, ex-subscriber. And so I said, could you send me a screenshot of where that file is in your folder, just so we can see a timestamp of that picture? I know that's weird, but the more info we have, the more we can validate this. And I give my Discord. Well, Kronos replied back, and you guys might recognize this phraseology here. You could have asked me about this one had you reached out. Well, I couldn't didn't reach out to Kronos unless I added him and then he accepted my friend request on Discord, since we don't share a mutual server, which means I can't just message him even if we aren't friends. But he goes on to say, I've spoken about this before, but I guess the truth isn't as compelling. Kronos VII on Discord. VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators, myself included. Now I should note that I also said, if you could send me your January comments relating to this, I'd love to have them. Also, sent you a friend request on Discord. That was 12 hours ago. He still has not added me back, still waiting on that response. But I think to remain charitable here, the VOD was removed to prevent a 2025 repeat of people watching the 2024 video and messaging donators. Let's just go with that. Now, Kronos made another reply, and I want to highlight this. He said this before.
Obviously, this is a matter of public interest, and the people cannot wait longer than 12 hours for my update, Kronos, so your lack of response will be your response.
In January, during the WoW drama,
on.
people contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. This year, I did less from my main and did some on an alt. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a bit confused about this message. People contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. I think he's saying that in the same fashion that they were people harassing donators in the
some sort of year-long Twitch audit program to make sure that this is a valid world record, I assume. Or that people are just really dedicated to hating on this Pirate Software guy and poking holes in his lies. Or truths? Let's see.
Last one back in 2024.
What up, EFJ?
He
How
didn't
goes?
want to have the same issue, so he donated and wanted to make donations from that alternate account. Now, based on how I'm reading this, and again, I could be wrong, maybe I'm misunderstanding what Kronos said, but he said that he did do 100 tier 1s on his personal. Now, if you have an issue with people harassing you, and you end up using an alt, I would figure that you would probably send most of the donations through that alt account, but sending 100 separate tier 1 subs, or maybe they were grouped in 5s, 25, maybe did it all at once, that's still putting your name up there. That's still going to get people to message you. So, I mean, having the VOD deleted afterwards is going to solve all of it regardless, so you shouldn't have to worry about if you donated it using your personal account. The VODs have been wiped. I just wanted to make sure I went through.
I'm chilling, I'm vibing, I'm just struggling to wrap my brain cells around what the hell this guy's talking about!
Both of his messages. I'm not trying to cherry
this a
pick here,
pyramid
but let's
scheme?
move on to how we were able to confirm that this existed in the first place. Number one, Kronos is not refuting it, but more importantly, number two, we were actually able to receive an archived VOD of this stream. Now I'm about to show you guys an archived VOD of this.
Why is he in a banana suit? Why is this guy in a banana suit, dude? I can't defend him anymore! I've had it up to here!
Back stream where we're able to prove that those leaked DMs showed up in this stream. Now, at the time that I first showed this, and the first time that I had found it in my Discord, as that's where it was sent in, I didn't know who had archived this, but I want to give credit to the individual who had this.
I don't know why the video switched to one audio track. I'm only my left ear really enjoying this right now. YouTube comment cord
from MK on Kiwi Farms, and I want to apologize that I did not know this going into my stream. Again, you deserve
what up,
credit for
Galactic?
this, and I genuinely really appreciate that you had this VOD. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this solid proof to back
The
up the
VOD.
screenshot that we had found. So thank you. Here it is in all of its glory. It is 11 hours and 59 minutes and 57 seconds. To the best of my knowledge, this stream was just
All right,
showing you, and then you're
let's
going
get to the
watch
point.
him go ahead and delete the text-to-speech that he just heard.
What? What is this? Where is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message. God damn it, click. Click, you garbage machine. What? Who are you?
Why do you need to be a banana to do this?
Why are you like this?
Wouldn't it be more comfortable in
Number
clothes?
420. Deleted.
I feel like that would be more appealing. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Now,
I know.
number one, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's aptly proving that, yes, this is indeed Pirate Software. He's going through, he deleted the text-to-speech, you heard him talking about it, and he had the authority to delete that message. Now, the other thing I found interesting about this little chain of events here is that he quickly switches to a different DM after he realizes that this is on screen, and that happens before he goes to his Discord. And he looks a bit panicked, but that, again, I'm speculating here, right?
What? What is this? Where?
He jumps over to this one first to, clear so you guys can't see what he's saying to Kronos, and that's when he starts looking for his
Having these all open on stream just seems fast and loose.
server.
I'm not judging.
I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message. God damn it, click.
So now that we've confirmed that this
How can I
really
tell you what's going on if you stopped listening?
does exist, it existed on
You
that
wouldn't
pod.
hear
Let's
me,
take
man.
a look at that screenshot again.
I assume.
So this specific bit up here, let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. bits rather than tier 3s? Tier 3s might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet? Now, my leading theory here, specifically with that 82% number that Thor is throwing out, has to do with the conversion rate when you get bits into a Twitch stream. Now, as you can see here, when your viewers perform and confirm an action that requires bits within the extension on your channel page, you'll earn 80% of 1 US cent per bit used, and the remaining 20% is shared with the extension developer. So here's that 80%, but let's do a little bit of that math. So taking a look here, I just took a screenshot. I went into a Twitch stream, went to the bits, and you can actually get a 12% discount.
How much money is 10,000 bits? $100? I see.
25,000 bits. So that puts you at a $308 price tag. Now, to make this a bit easier to understand, one of my buddies
my mom would be pissed if I spent that much of the family credit card on this bullshit.
Actually created
to get my hype train to level 106. Like, what is this game you're playing? It's nonsense.
82%. So bit is 82% when you buy them in bulk. What he means is, if you spend $308 to buy 25,000 bits, donate them, the streamer gets $250. And then, of course, Twitch takes its fee, that 20%, being $58, which means that $250 is the money going out, like to the streamer, and $308 is the money that you put into the system to give that $250 to the streamer. So that's how you end up getting a return on your money of 81.1.6.
What are you, a numbers guy?
0.84%, discrepancy between this 81% and 82% the Pirate's referencing, but I think that that is a safe enough margin of error when we're talking about this. But all of that—
That's the thing, people do really care. And that's why we're here, because I'm human too.
82% return when you buy them in bulk is referencing that they are receiving 82% of the funds that are used in these donations, meaning that 82% is going to PirateSoftware, which would then in turn, and I think the only reason PirateSoftware is talking about this return is because that money would be going back to Kronos. So not only would he be able to donate to this hype train and help it out, which he literally admits to, as we see in these messages here. Right down here he says, did 50k bits at
Quinn Theo, the guy in the other square, and Loomis, why do you think he's screaming his nuts off?
Seconds left. But they're also trying to save as much overhead as possible and get it back to Kronos without bleeding as much money. Now, I'm sure there's a potential for another reason for them to have been talking in this way. That is my best guess based on the information that I was able to pull about the bits, percentage of what goes to the creator, what ends up going to Twitch. Interested to hear what you guys think if anyone understands these systems a bit better. Now, another wrench in this point is the fact that Kronos lives in the UK, so we don't know for sure if he's using that.
All right, you're British. I'm turning out, or tuning out. Tuning out, my bad. Skipping ahead a little bit.
Right below that says, now the challenge is to clear the queue. Now, what's this clearing the queue? Well,
that's like a line in American.
Actually an answer, and this is in the form of one of PirateSoftware's shorts.
What's the TTS queue and wait time? So every time somebody donates to do a TTS, I actually have a system, and you can see it goes into this queue. Every time I hit this button...
God, what is this guy on about, dude? He just knows it all. He just rubs me the wrong way.
Yes.
I have the right opinion too, everyone.
So far as a warlock.
But yeah, your message then goes into Discord. It actually has a timestamp here to show where that's going on, so you can click on it, and it works, right? And then if I don't get to your message by the end of the stream, it goes into debt. And right now, we've given $56,805 to charity since November of last year, because if I don't answer your message, I don't deserve the money, so we pay it to charity.
So I think that's all that you specifically need to know. Now we understand that every TTS
that doesn't get
cleared through the queue, meaning Pirate ends up playing it for the stream, that ends up all getting donated to charity. And it seems like Kronos is well aware of that fact. And so now the challenge being to clear the queue means that they want to make sure that they get through everything so that none of it gets donated to charity. Now that could be nefarious, but also at the same time, I think the goal is that he does want to read through them all because he wants to, appreciate the people that have been sending the money to him.
What up, happy guy?
In fact, I'm pretty sure their goal is to get through every single one of those text-to-speeches. And inevitably, they will end up donating some to charity because they might not be able to get through all of them in a single stream. And it ends up being that if they don't read it, ends up going to charity. So I don't really see an issue per se with that. Some people could take it that way. I don't think I necessarily need to make that argument because I think there's a reasonable understanding that, of course, the goal is to clear the queue every time. And it's not just because it's all going into their pockets, although that's the main reason, but they do also just want to respect the viewers that have sent their money in. But now let's talk about that Twitch terms of service and if this is breaching that terms of service. Now this hinges on the hype.
We're trying to figure out if PirateSoftware donated a bunch of subs to himself to fake his gigantic level 1 billion hype train or something.
Hypothesis that
Loomis, one sec. you, little bro. You're stuck with me. Because I'm your father.
That Kronos is getting paid back by Pirate through these bit donations that he did. And he did 75,000 bits in total, so $750. Now, of course, there was a little bit less due to that 12% discount, but that's the ballpark here. And again, reached out to see if someone from Twitch can actually better clarify if any terms of service were broken. So at this moment, this is all just speculation, and I don't have any other confirmation. Now, what I'm showing you guys here is from Twitch's legal bits acceptable use policy. Now, I'm just going to read the title of this area that I'm going to be reading from. Bits cannot be directly exchanged for items or services of value. Now, that specifically directly exchanged is a bit, convoluted here, since it's going directly to the stream, but then supposedly, potentially, Kronos will be getting paid back. The front line reads, don't engage in an exchange of bits for items or services that typically are associated with a cost or value. Communities can gather to achieve a goal that unlocks a benefit or experience for the community, explained further below. Creators can
Loomis wouldn't know boring if it, maybe he would.
Announce benefits in response to individual cheers. However, in each of those scenarios, the activity does not provide a return of anything of value. And down here explicitly, it says, now the don'ts that constitute violations of this policy. Don't solicit bits in exchange for money or donations, and don't request money or donations for bits. Now, this doesn't work because Pirate is not saying, hey, we're, giving you guys money if you give me bits. And it's also not Kronos requesting money for those donations. But if we come down here, we can see this specific point here: selling, offering to sell, trading, bartering, or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real or virtual currencies. Now this, we could make the argument that the selling, or I should say offering to sell or transferring bits to other users of Twitch in exchange for real currency would be the equivalent of Kronos donating those bits to Pirate's stream, knowing that he's getting this, as we, talked about, that 82% return. Or I should say that that 82% return is going to Pirate. That assumption being that this return of 82% is for Pirate so that he can get it back to him and lower their overhead costs. Now again, there is nothing directly stating outright you cannot, as like a moderator or an employee for a streamer, donate bits to, get that money back afterwards. But there's no specific ruling on that, or not at least that I've seen from the research
what is this cat screaming at?
With people that I have worked with making this video have found themselves. Now, other examples of this Twitch terms of service potentially being broken here has to come from spam, scams, and other malicious conduct. And listed below in, for example, you may not, it includes this part here about engage in viewership tampering, such as artificially inflating follow or live viewer stats. Now, my expert armchair analysis, I would look at that and go, okay, well, they were seemingly based off of, Kronos directly saying, I added those 50K bits with 20 seconds left. It sounds like he is artificially, with coordination from PirateSoftware, keeping the hype train going, which may look like natural engagement, which may incentivize other people to donate to the hype train because they want to build it up, because there is a potential that they unlock this emote or they unlock other rewards in the progression of leveling up this hype train. I think this might also contribute to—
What up, ND Mr. Control Gaming? I did not ever try that app. Still got to. Still on the never-ending list. I just haven't fixed my computer yet, so I just haven't done any USB heavy bullshit.
To the cheat the Twitch reward system, in which case I think maybe you could make that argument, but at the same time, the alternate account that he would have been donating these bits on wouldn't really be cheating that Twitch reward system, since he would be receiving the rewards from it. Again, that's more like incentivizing other people that would naturally donate. They would be more likely to donate if you were getting closer to one of those goals. And they got closer to that goal by artificially inflating the train. Pyrocynical is going to have a heyday with this video if he ever reacts to it. Now, the last big, TOS thing that I have here is under
I'm sorry, I think he mispronounced my name or something. The name is Jimmy.
Lonniedos.
Remember that.
Here. Specifically, here under II, it says impersonate any person or entity, or falsely claim an affiliation with any person or entity. Now, technically, Kronos impersonated someone that was friends with Kronos. I think that's a really lame technicality, but at the end of the day, he did pretend to have a friend, which is kind of funny. But more specifically, in the second—
PirateSoftware pretends to have a friend. Put it in the title. Clip it and ship it, boys. All right, this is kind of boring. Basically, what I'm gathering from this video, at least this part of the video, is that there was some sussy stuff going on, potentially with the subscribers hype train. No shit. If you're getting 50,000 subs in a day, some of them might be your best friends trying to keep it going, especially since the website incentivizes that kind of, right? With the hype train existing and stuff. It doesn't seem that nefarious to me. Although I feel like this guy has been criticized for less before, so
part of this II here.
his detractors may
misrepresent the
enjoy
source,
this.
identity, or content of information transmitted via the Twitch services. I would say by using an alternate account and not disclosing that to the public that was viewing the stream would count as misrepresenting the source and identity of the person donating. But all of these potential breaks in the terms of service could mean absolutely nothing. Now, I spoke with the lawyer that had actually worked with private parts back when he received a cease and desist
He
from
worked with
PirateSoftware in regard to
his what now?
these potential breaks in the terms of service could mean absolutely nothing. Now, I spoke with the lawyer that had actually worked with private parts back when
He
he
used his dick and vagina?
received a
No
cease
way.
and desist from PirateSoftware in regard to his video game, including PirateSoftware's voice in it. Now, I spoke with him a little bit about this specific point, and he had some really interesting information to provide in regard to the fact that PirateSoftware might have a different contract with Twitch that would supersede the terms of service that would typically apply as a blanket for most people that are streaming on Twitch.
There's another layer here too, right? Okay. So there's the terms of service that most of us are going to have available to us. But someone like him, he may have a different terms of service that we don't get to see. He may have
This might be the conspiratorial part of the video.
a separate individual contract. He have a separate written agreement that says, literally on it, Twitch terms of service are superseded by our written agreement, thusly. You may only think you may think, and Twitch may allow you to think, because that seems more
That's
fair.
fair.
It seems like more fair for gamers if the rules are all the same for everybody. But no, they don't have to tell you that. Nobody has to tell you that. So he has.
Listen, I love Twitch television, but they have never been known for keeping the rules the same for everybody, all right? This was a somewhat interesting video. Shout out to Quinn Theo, dude. Shout out to Loomis, dude. One moment.